Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to Sapatech. Today we are going to talk about some real-time challenges which you being new to Git or which while working on Git or GitHub you will experience. So now this is one of the server. This is one of the Ubuntu server. Here we will see from the point we have left in our previous session wherein we committed the code to local repository after executing commands, which was git add and pushing the code to staging area. Now, from this place, we'll see that how I will create a directory and what challenges I will face while creating a directory in case if I don't have proper privileges, and what you have to do, what commands you have to execute while you are in order to gain those privileges. It is very much important for you to understand this because in my experience, I have seen candidates struggling a lot in getting into the situation where they don't know what to do when they get some permission denied issue when working on any of the Linux operating system, right? So let's do that. Let's start that. So as of now, I am there on my home directory, and in order to check which directory I am, Linux offers a command which is pwd, which says present working directory. I can see now I'm on home Ubuntu. Now, since it's a Ubuntu operating system, it's showing home Ubuntu. If you are working on some different operating system, certainly you will have some different home directory. Now, what I want to do is, since you already know, since I've covered this in my first session in Git, that in whenever we are working on Git, it's very much important to create a working space, a working directory. For that, let's create a working directory. In order to create working directory, I'll execute the command mkdir and I'll say git demo, and I will cd to this directory, which is git demo. Now see, I've cd'd to git demo. Now let's see in case if I will be able to, in case if I need to update my Ubuntu operating system, because in Ubuntu operating system, whenever you install packages or any software, it's very much important to update cache. In order to update cache, command is apt update. Now you see, you might get into these kind of issues where it says that permission denied. Permission denied because apt is not a privileged user to update all the software, to update all the repositories. In that case, you will have two options. In that case, let me just open a notepad and I'll put this notepad, and you can follow this notepad or the content of notepad in blog site, which I'm going to create for Git or each of the topic which I'll be covering in my class. And that will be sappertech.com. You come to this site, and here there will be a blog section. In that blog section, you will see all the notes which I'm preparing. It will be very much helpful for you if you are referring to these notes, because by using these notes itself, you will be able to understand what the real-time scenario you can fall into and how to resolve that, what are the various commands and all. So if you get these kind of problems, and I'll specifically talk about the problems which one faces in day-to-day life while working on Git and the resolution of it as well. So if you get into these kind of issues, the major thing is your ID does not have privileges to perform activity. And how will you know which ID you are logged in into? By executing the command who am I. As you execute who am I in Linux, it will say you that which user ID you are logged in into. As of now, it clearly says that you are logged in into as a Ubuntu user, and Ubuntu user does not have that privileges. In order to execute any such command, there are two ways. There are two ways. Either you become, first way is either you become super user, or attain super user privileges, or it will be more better to write associate super user privileges to Ubuntu user. Okay, either of two things you can do. So how will you become super user? You will become super user by executing the command sudo su. You see, if I'll execute sudo su, I'll become super user. I'll show you that also. Sudo su. I am now a root user. So if I type now, who am I? It says that, sorry for typo. It says that I am a root user, and root user is having all sort of privileges which I need to perform my activity. Now, if I execute the command apt update, it says, okay, fine, I'll execute it. I don't have any issues. Okay, see, it says that fine, I'm able to execute this. It's not giving this permission denied error. Now, I will try to become Ubuntu user back. How will I become Ubuntu user back? I'll become Ubuntu user back by executing exit command. And as I execute exit command, I am Ubuntu user back. Now, if I again execute who am I, it says that I am Ubuntu user. Now, if again I'll execute the same command apt update, it says that you don't have permissions, permission denied. Now, this was the first way. You have done this, you became super user. Now, second way is associate super user privileges to Ubuntu user. And this normally you will use this because you cannot be a super user, you cannot become a root user in all your company, following all your company standards and company policy. You cannot become a super user, you will not have privileges. So you will normally execute this command sudo apt update. You will put sudo in front of any of the command. By putting sudo, you will attain super user privileges, and you will associate super user privileges to your ID by which you are logged in as of now. In order to clear the screen, I'm just typing the command clear, and there is a shortcut key also, which is Control L. You can use either or both. And here I'm going to execute now sudo apt update. And you see it's again working now. It's not giving permission denied error, right? So there are different ways. Now, next thing is, let's see how we can execute couple of other commands. Like in our last session, we discussed about, recap what we have done. In last session, we discussed about creating working directory and touch command to create empty file. Next is we execute git add command, and then we executed git commit -m first commit as my commit. Okay, this is what I had done. So now let's again follow quite the same step. It says that initialized git repository. I'll execute touch command and I'll say file1.txt. But this time I'm going to show you something else. This time again, I'm going to show you some real-time challenges which one faces and the command which Git offers to overcome that part. So it has created this touch file 1.txt. Now I'm going to execute git add command, and then I'll execute git commit to provide some commit message. You see, please don't do any typo error like the way I was doing. I just wrote -o -m, and I'll say first commit. Okay. So once this is done, this part is done, again, this message is popping up. You know, I've already covered in my last session. What you have to do is git config -- global, and you'll say user dot email and give test@example.com. And another thing is user dot id, user dot name, and here you can say test. Okay, done. Now this part is done. After that, what you will do is you have already executed git commit command, and after commit executing git command, if you'll come here, you will see that file1.txt is already in your local repository. Git ls-files is the command by means of which you can see the entry which is present in your local repository. Next thing will be to make some changes in the file, because eventually there will be some situation where you have to update this file, you have to make modification in this file. And consider whatever file I'm using as of now is some code. In case if you want, if you're interested, just put in the comment section. I will, whatever language you want to learn, I do have expertise in shell scripting, python scripting, and java, all the three. So in case if you're interested in learning any of the specific language or scripting part in python and shell, just write a note in the comment section, so that I will create some, instead of writing instead of putting these text files, I will actually create some script, and I'll show you how the shell script can be written, so that you will get more idea on the shell scripting part as well. Okay, so now let's move on, friends. And here file1.txt. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this file. If I execute git status command, now it says that everything is clean, nothing is there on working directory. Now if I have to update this, I'll use vi editor. I've said in my last session also what is vi editor and how it functions. Please refer my first section. I'll put that first section link also in my this video, so that you can go and you can refer it for your references on vi editor, and your how to write, how to update any file in linux by using vi editor. So file1.txt, and here I'm going to write, this is my first code and is written in second demo session on git. It is available at sappertech.com website also. Okay, friends. So now let's save and come out of it. I just saved and I came out of it. Now, when I came out of it, it might happen that you want to see, before even you are moving it to staging area, you want to see what changes you have made. Right? It's sometimes very much important for you to understand what changes you are promoting to your staging area or index area. In order to see that, git offers a wonderful command, because friends, now it's a new file. Perhaps when you start working in real time, and this is a real time scenario, when we start working in real time, you have lengthy code, and even before you promote it, you take it to staging area or index area, it's pretty much important for you to understand what changes actually you are making in the code, so that you do not miss anything or you do not add anything which is unexpected and wanted. In order to do that, git offers a command, git diff, right? Git diff is the command. So now as I hit git diff, it says that these are the two lines which are added in file, which is file1.txt, and the plus sign beside it shows that you have added these two lines in the file1.txt. Now, after you have seen this, eventually you will move it. And it might happen, friends, that you have more than one file. It might happen that you have more than one file. You have file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4. And if I ask you, or if it's needed for you to see the content or change in file for only change or the update which you made in one single file, what you will do is you will give the file name like this, file name, and it also shows same thing. So if you have only one file and you are executing git diff as the command, it will show you the name of the file and the changes in the file. But if you have more than one file, say 10 files, and if you're executing git diff as the command, then that diff will show you the changes which is done in all the files together, and that may be messy at times. So in case if you have more than one file or huge number of file, then it's always recommended to use file name along with git diff as the command, so that you will precisely be able to see what changes you have made in that specific file. Now, After you have seen that, you're moving it to staging area. In order to move it to staging area, you can either use git add dot as the command if you have multiple files and if you're taking all the files together to staging area. But in case if you want to take any particular file out of many files, you will use git add followed by the name of the file. And when you hit enter, it says that the file is now moved into staging area. You see, git status will say that changes are ready to be committed, color is green, and it is all set to be moved into your local repository. But even before I move it to local repository, I want to see some of the what the changes I have made. Again, this is not same as the way you have executed git diff for the last time, because when you executed git diff for the last time, the file was in your working directory, but now file is not in working directory, friends. File is in staging area, and now you have to see those files or the changes which you have made in those files when the file is in staging area. In order to see that, you execute the command git diff, but you have to add a flag, git diff dash dash cached, right? Git diff dash dash cached, and when you are executing this, it shows you what the changes you have made. And now let me just execute diff as the command. Now it's not giving you any output, because now it's not able to find any file which is in your working directory and where you have made the changes. And that is where git diff dash dash cached is used, where it will go and it will check for the file which is in staging area, and it will see if you are making changes any file which is in staging area, and it will give you the output with all those entries which you have made in staging with the in the file in staging area. Right, now you have seen that, you have seen both the scenarios, how to check the content of file when, or the changes which you have made in the file in your working directory, and the content of the changes which you have made in the file when the file is in your staging area. Now when you are all set, you move it to your remote repository in, or sorry, local repository. In order to move it to your local repository, you will execute git commit dash m, and you will push it to your local repository by hitting some more message, by putting some more message like git commit dash m second commit, and as you hit enter, everything is gone. And now if you can remember, I'm not getting those highlighted messages which I was getting earlier, which is asking for my username and password, right? So this is the way I will be able to push it. Now friends, today I will introduce one more command, which is git log. Now git log is again very much important command, because by using git log, you will be able to see all the commits which is done in the past, at what time those commits are done, who has done those commits, and is there any commit ID associated with any specific commit or not. So now you can see, as I executed git log as the command, it's not saying that, okay, fine, this is the commit ID which is associated with this commit. And you can see it's saying head dash master. Now, what is head and what is master? So friends, master is a branch. It Git follows inverted tree structure, wherein everything starts from root, and then it goes to your branches, and there could be multiple branches, and each of the branches, like the way it happens in tree, in each of the branches you will see leaves, flowers, fruits, right? Similarly, in git also, in the world of development also, in order to do parallel development of various applications or parallel development of any specific component of an application, you would like to create branches. And by means of creating the branches, you will create the branches like master and various other child branches. Master branch is in, and that's git recommendation to push anything to production by using master branch only. And that is very much important, friends, because by that way you can keep your environment in sync and stable. Now what you're saying is head is pointing to master, and that is what this, as of now, this diagram or this convention is. So head is pointing to master branch. So what this head is, head is, friends, head is the pointer to latest commit in active branch, right? Head is the pointer to latest commit in active branch. And this is one of the interview question. Again, please go to my blog to see interview questions also, and there I will put some interview questions, and you can go to Sapotech website, and there you will see interview questions on Git, and I'll categorize it under various sections of interview questions. So interview questions. What is Git? What is Git? Git is a pointer to active to latest commit ID in active branch. Okay, so now it is pointing to latest commit ID in active branch, which is master branch as of now. Now this shows you all the commit IDs. This shows you who committed it. You can see my name, test few minutes back while executing git config dash dash global. I have given this name. I have given this email ID also, test@example.com, right? It shows you everything. It shows you the first commit which I was done, wherein I did not create any such ID. It was Ubuntu as the user, and this is what the email ID which it was taking by default, which was in the first commit, where you saw a number of messages which were popping up, right? So by this way you can see all the logs. Now in case if I say you could find, show me some specific commit ID details, what you have done in specific commit ID, because whatever you do in Git gets tracked. So with this commit ID, basically whatever commit you have done, whatever changes you have made in the file is getting tracked. Now if I execute the command git show and I'll give the commit ID, it actually shows me what I have done with this commit ID, right? What I have done with this commit ID. Now with this commit ID, as it's showing, this user, which is the test user, has actually made some changes in file1.txt. And with this file1.txt, I have made this, I've added this line and this line. So yes, it's showing you the changes in this file which you have made by using this commit ID. Now there are two commit IDs. There could be some situation wherein you have to see what is the difference in between these two commit IDs, what you have done in first commit and what you have done in second commit, right? It might happen. In that case, again, your git diff command helps. Git diff command will show you the differences in between these two commit IDs. And by executing that, it says that it does not give any output. Let's put your first commit ID first. And you see what I've done? I've given the same commit ID twice. That is the reason it's not giving you anything. But let's put a different commit ID so that you can see it now. Like now you can see it. What it's showing, you see, this is the target, uh, target, you can say commit ID, and this is the source commit ID. Target commit ID is something, is the normally what we do is with git diff, we put the latest commit ID first and the previous commit ID later, so that you get to know, you understand that something is getting added. Now what I've done, see, this is done, this is the commit ID which got generated, which was my first commit. You see, this commit ID is from my, this commit ID is my latest commit, and this commit ID is my first commit which is there. Now what it says is, in this, by using this difference, it shows that this commit ID, with this commit ID, I'm trying to remove certain lines. So the format, friends, which git diff takes is something like this. And please, you have to follow exactly in the same way to get desired result. This will be source commit ID, and this will be target commit ID. So source commit ID and the target commit ID. Or source commit ID, when I say, it's like some commit ID, some commit ID which got created with the previous execution of command. And the target commit ID is something which says the commit ID which got created with the latest execution of command, right? So now let me just quickly clear my screen and I'll execute the git log command again. Which is the latest commit ID? This. Which is the previous commit ID? This. Now source commit ID will be the previous commit ID and the target commit ID will be the latest commit ID. So now this is the previous commit ID. I'll execute the command git diff previous commit ID space and latest commit ID. And when you hit enter, now it shows you the desired result. And what it says in this file one, while jumping from this commit ID to this commit ID, I have added this line. I've added these two lines. Now, in case if I reverse this, and if I say git diff, which is my latest commit ID, this. I'm considering my latest commit ID as the source commit ID, and this is my target commit ID, which is my previous commit ID. Now, what is thinking is it's thinking that I have executed the command in reverse order. It says that now it will understand that these two lines were initially there, and with this commit ID, I'm trying to remove it. And now when I hit enter, you see it says that I'm trying to remove it. And the minus sign and a red color shows that I'm trying to remove something. Right, friends? So this is the utility of diff command and logs. Now, one more thing I will add in this session before I end it up. In this session, I want to show you, see, these commit IDs are lengthy commit IDs. It's very much tough for you to perhaps remember these commit IDs or keep a track of these sort of commit IDs. And the output is also quite lengthy. It contains lots of verbose, which certainly you don't want to retain for longer period of time with more number of commit IDs, right? In order to get rid of this, Git offers a command, which is a one-liner command. For this, you say git log dash dash one line. And with this git log dash dash one line, I'm going to shorten this entire commit IDs with just two commits. You see, these two were lengthy commit IDs with so much of entries. Now it's been reduced to only 7-character hexadecimal commit ID, and it just shows the commit messages along with the pointer, and that's it. Now you have very compact output with git log dash dash one line, and this gives you even the benefit of this is, for example, if you're executing git diff command, then with this git diff command, your commit IDs will be shorter and it will work equally good. So now if I have to do it, it says git diff, and you say your source commit ID space destination commit ID, and you see it will give you same output, right? So it's considering, it's just truncating the lengthy commit ID and making it only of 7-character so that you can use it in a better way. That's all for today's session, friends. We'll again meet on our upcoming sessions. Please don't forget to provide your feedback or write your comments at the bottom so that I can improvise, or I can make some changes in the existing code, or I can make some changes in the existing course, or the way I'm delivering the course. And in case if you do have any specific question, please let me know, put it in the comment section so that I can answer it accordingly. Thank you, everyone.